Vasseur has just dropped a real bomb, and it's aimed directly at Lewis Hamilton. That's right, the head of Ferrari, the man who personally brought Hamilton to Maranello with the promise of building a new legacy, just went public with a statement that's shaking the entire paddock. He says Hamilton is exaggerating, overreacting, that his emotional outbursts aren't just unnecessary, they're making things worse. And suddenly, what was supposed to be the best driver-team pairing in years is starting to unravel. Fast. Because let's be honest, when your own team boss starts publicly questioning not just your performance, but your attitude, it's no longer just about a tough weekend or a bad race. It's about trust. It's about whether this relationship still has a future. And when Vasseur says Hamilton's reactions are extreme, that he's being too hard on himself and on the car, and that his comments to the media are only creating more chaos within the team, you know this isn't just a simple disagreement. It's something deeper, something that could change everything. Hamilton has always been emotional, always worn his heart on his sleeve. But when frustration turns into doubt, and that doubt becomes public, the entire team begins to feel the pressure. Vasseur isn't just defending Ferrari, he's sending a clear message. Enough. We believe in you, but we need you to lead, not panic. And in a season where results have been hard to come by and tensions are bubbling just beneath the surface, this moment could be a turning point. So if you're a Ferrari fan like me, and I know many of you watching are, you won't want to miss what's coming. This situation is evolving fast, and the consequences could be massive. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay with me until the end of the video because we're going to break down every detail of this shocking story. I'm Julian, and this one's going to get intense. Now imagine this scene again, but more vividly. This isn't just a team principal venting. It's a psychological chess game played in front of millions of fans, with a legend of the sport under his command. What Vasseur has done isn't just damage control, it's a calculated move. This is no longer about lap times, it's about narrative, identity, and rescuing a season, maybe even a legacy, before it completely collapses. Fred Vasseur has decided that the time for silent support is over. He's seen enough. Because while most team principals protect their star drivers with vague promises or by sweeping problems under the rug, Vasseur did the opposite. He went straight to the media, bluntly, unapologetically, and dissected the Hamilton situation with surgical precision. Not to humiliate him, but to change the conversation. What's most impressive is how measured his tone was. Vasseur didn't yell. He didn't question Hamilton's talent or his commitment. Instead, he made one thing very clear. The problem isn't that Hamilton isn't fast. It's that he's making too much noise over every small weakness. And when you're wearing Ferrari red, the most scrutinized suit in motorsport, volume becomes vulnerability. Every sigh, every radio message, every hand gesture becomes a headline in Italy. And Vasseur, more than anyone, knows that once those headlines spiral out of control, they take the team narrative with them. That's why his words matter. They're not about Hamilton the driver, they're about Hamilton the symbol of a new Ferrari era. The headline maker, the record breaker, the one meant to bring immediate validation to a team that hasn't won a title in over 15 years. But the narrative has flipped. He's not the hero right now. He's the storm. And Vasseur is trying to calm it before it becomes a hurricane. There's another layer here that makes this even more intense. Vasseur didn't just call out the emotional reactions. He called out the assumptions. He admitted that even he didn't fully understand the size of the adjustment Hamilton would have to make. Going from Mercedes, a team of robotic precision and surgical calm, to Ferrari, a team of raw emotion and political turbulence, wasn't just a change of uniform. It was a cultural earthquake. And now, both the driver and the team are still feeling the aftershocks. What Vasseur wants is recalibration. He's not giving up on Hamilton. Quite the opposite. He wants the real Lewis to show up, the one who's thrived in chaos before, the one who has silenced critics with performance, not just passion. But he's also saying, between the lines, that Hamilton has to evolve, because Ferrari won't. Ferrari will always be Ferrari, the pressure cooker, the gladiator arena, the cathedral of expectation. And if Lewis wants to survive and win here, he has to bring back the composure he mastered at Mercedes, not the storm that's currently forming around him. And this is where it gets Shakespearean. You've got a team principal who believes in his star, who essentially bet his career on him, trying to save him. Not from failure on the track, but from self-destruction off of it. Vasseur is trying to protect Hamilton from becoming his own worst enemy, from letting perfectionism turn into paralysis, from mistaking discomfort for disaster. He's drawing a line in the sand and saying, "We're still with you, but stop dragging the spotlight to your personal struggles. Let us work. Let us fight. Together." And Vasseur knows what the alternative looks like. He's seen it before. When pressure eats Ferrari alive from the inside. When the media turns skeptical. When the tifosi start to whisper. When a legend in red becomes a cautionary tale. That's what he's trying to prevent. And that's why he's speaking out now. Not in private, but where it will echo the loudest. Because this isn't just about Hamilton being tested. It's about Ferrari's identity. Their entire bet. Their belief that bringing in a megastar would change everything. The irony, of course, is that Hamilton really could change everything. If, and only if, he steps away from the storm and embraces the process. The long game. The grind. Because Vasseur's words weren't an emotional rant. They were a call to arms, a plea for stability, a strategic course correction for a project that's dangerously close to becoming a PR disaster. And that brings us to the part no one says out loud, but everyone is thinking. What if this doesn't work? What happens if Hamilton doesn't adapt? If the emotions keep spilling out? If the results don't come, and the pressure keeps rising? There are already whispers about 2026, about whether this was ever the right move, about whether Ferrari might, quietly, start looking elsewhere. Vasseur shut those whispers down, for now. But the truth is, even he can't silence them forever if performance doesn't improve. That's why his words matter so much, because they're both a defense and a warning. A defense of the project, of the faith in Hamilton, and a warning that even legends can fall if they forget that Formula One is as much mental as it is mechanical. At Ferrari, speed isn't enough. You need steel. You need patience. And above all, you need to understand that Maranello is a pressure cooker, where every word, every gesture, every emotion becomes a headline. Vasseur hasn't attacked Hamilton. He's challenged him, publicly, strategically. And in doing so, he's shifted the spotlight. This is no longer about whether Ferrari can give Lewis the right car. It's about whether Lewis can give Ferrari the right mindset. Because the only way this partnership works is if Hamilton becomes more than just a driver. He needs to be a stabilizing force in a team that lives on the edge of chaos. If he can do that, this story could still have a glorious ending. If not, it may go down as the boldest failure in modern F1. Either way, what happens next won't just define Hamilton's time at Ferrari. It could define the legacy of both.